Hi friends, welcome back to the channel of Agadtantra, that is Toxicology. Today we are going into the next syllabus point, that is Visha Adhistaana, that is the site of poison. Let's look into it. As we've already discussed, the Stavara Visha, they are having 10 Adhisthana, and Jangama Visha, they are having 16 Adhisthana, Dasha Adhisthana and Shodasha Adhisthana. First, let's look into the Stavara Visha Adhisthana. It is given in the Sushrut Kalpasthana, second Adhyaya. And the Adhishthanas are Moolam, Patram, Phalam, Pushpam, Tvak, Kshiram, Sara, Evacha, Niryaso, Dadavaschaiva, Kandascha, Dashamaha Smridaha. That is, there are 10 Adhishthanas, mainly Moola, that is root, Patra, that is leaves, Phala, that is fruits, Pushpa means flowers, Tvak means bark, Kshira, that is latex, Sara, that is pith, Niryasa, that is the exudate, which may be gum or resin, then Dhatu, that is minerals, and Kanda, that is the tuber portion. These are the 10 Adhishthanas of Stavara Visha. Acharyas have given, that is Sushrutacharya had given, total of 55 drugs among the groups of the Stavara Visha Adhishthanas. In that, first one is Moola, that is root, and Acharya has mentioned 8 examples for the Moola. They are Ashwamara, Gunja, Vijaya, Klitaka, Sugandha, Gargaraka, Karakada and Vidyut Shika. And the symptoms of poisoning of the Moola Visha is given as Udveshtana, Pralapa and Moha. These are the symptoms of poisoning by the Moola Visha. Here we can see the picture of a Moola of a drug. Next it is the Patra, that is leaves. And Acharya has given 5 examples, that is Vishapatrika, Lemba, Varadaru, Karamba and Mahakaramba. And the symptoms associated with the poisoning by the Patra Visha is Jrimba, Angodveshtana and Shwasa. Then next let's look into the examples of the Phala Visha. They are given as 12 in number and they are Kumudvati, Venuka, Karamba, Mahakaramba, Karkotaka, Renuka, Khadyodaka, Charmari, Baganda, Sarpagati, Nandana and Sarapaga. And the Lakshana of the symptoms of poisoning by the Phala Visha is given as Mushka Shofa, Daha and Anna Dvesha. These are the symptoms of poisoning by the Phala. Here I have shown the picture of a Datura fruit, which is not given in this example, but for the better understanding, that is Phala Visha. Next, Acharya has given the Pushpa, that is flowers, and given examples, that is 5 examples. They are Vetra, Kadamba, Vallija, Karamba and Mahakaramba. These are the examples for the Pushpa Visha, and the symptoms of poisoning of Pushpa Visha is Chardi, Atmana and Moha. Here I have given the picture of the flower of Karavira. Next comes the Tvak, Sara and Niryasa. Tvak, that is the bark, which is given in the first picture. Then second is the Sara, which is the pith, that is the central portion of the wood. And next is the Niryasa, that may be a gum or a resin. And Acharya has given 7 common examples for this type of poisoning. And they are Andhra Pachaka, Kartariya, Sauriyaka, Karaghata, Karamba, Nandana and Narachaka. And the symptoms of the poisoning by the Tvak, Sara and Niryasa is given as Asya Daurgandhya, Parushya, Shiroruk and Kapha Samsrava. Acharya has given an example of 7 drugs for these 3 in common. Next comes the Kshira, that is latex. And Acharya has mentioned 3 examples for it. They are Kumudagni, Kshnuhi and Jalakshiri. And the symptoms are Phenagama, Vidbeda and Guru Jihvada. By the consumption of this Kshira Visha, there will be Phenagama, Vid Beda, and there will be Guru Jihvada. Next comes the Dhatu Visha, that is the minerals, and Acharya has mentioned two examples, that is Phenashma and Haratala. And the symptoms of poisoning by the Dhatu Visha is Hritpida, Murcha and Daha. Then the last one is the Kanda, that is the tuber, and it is examples are given 13, and Acharya has mentioned that Kandajani to Tikshnani, that is the most potent Visha among all these Adhisthana, it is the Kanda Visha, and the examples are Kalakuda, Vatsanaba, Sarshapa, Palaka, Kardamaka, Vairataka, Mustaka, Sringivisha, Prapundarika, Mulaka, Halahala, Mahavisha and Karkataka. And Acharya has mentioned that Vatsanaba, it is of 4 types, Sarshapa, it is of 6 types, and Mustaka, they are of 2 types, and rest all the Visha, it is of 1 type in nature. And Acharya has mentioned separate Lakshana for all these poisoning of the Kanda Visha. In the second picture, it is the root of Vatsanava, which is called as a Mahavisha. I have given it for an example. Let's look into the symptoms caused by the poisoning of the tuber. First one is the Kalakuda, and the symptoms are Sparshatnyanam, Vebatu and Stamba. The poisoning by the Kalakuda, it causes Sparshatnyanam, Vebatu and Stamba. When we look into the Vatsanaba, the symptoms are given as Griva Stamba and Pida Vind Mutra Netrada. They are the symptoms of poisoning. Then the Sarshapa, the symptoms of poisoning are Vada Vaigunya, Anaha and Grandhi Janma. These are the symptoms of poisoning by Sarshapa. Next comes the Palaka, and the symptoms of poisoning are Griva Daurbalya and Vaksanga. Next is the Kardamaka. Kardamaka, the poisoning, the causes Praseka, Vid Beda and Netra Pidada. These are the symptoms of poisoning by the Kardamaka, that is Praseka, Vid Beda and Netra Pidada. Next one is Vairataka. The symptoms of poisoning by the Vairataka is Angatukka and Shiroroga. Next one is Mustaka. The symptoms of poisoning by the Mustaka is Gatra Stamba and Vebadu. These are the symptoms. Then next, the symptoms of poisoning by the Sringi, it is Angasada, Daha and Udara Vivriddhi. Then next one is Prapundarika, and the Lakshana goes of symptoms of Prapundarika is Raktatva, Akshnur Vriddhi and Udara. Next is the symptoms of poisoning by the Mulaka. It is Vaivaranya, Chardi, Hikka, Shofa and Pramudada. Next is the poisoning by the Halahala, which is Chirena Uchvasa and Shavo Naraha. Next is the Mahavisha, the poisoning. The symptoms caused by the poisoning of the Mahavisha is Hridaye Grandhi, Shulodgamo Brisham. Then the next is Karkataka. The symptoms of poisoning by the Karkataka. The Karkataka is Utpadati Urudvam, Hasan and Dandana Dashati. There comes the end of the Kanda Visha, and the symptoms of poisoning of Kanda Visha, we have looked into this. Next, as we know that this 10 Adhishtanas, it is mentioned by Sushrutacharya and Ashtanga Sangrahacharya, but Ashtanga Hridaya and Charaka, they have mentioned only one Adhishtana. Ashtanga Hridayakara mentioned one Adhishtana, that is Kanda Visha, and Charakacharya has mentioned only one Adhishtana, that is Moola Visha. There comes into the Adhishtana of the Stavara Visha. Next, let's look into the Adhishtana of the Jangama Visha. They are 16 in number, Shodasha in number, and it goes as Tatra, Drishti, Nishwasa, Damshtra, Nagha, Mutra, Purisha, Shukra, Lala, Artava, Mukha, Sandamsha, Vishardita, Tundasti, Pitta, Shuga, Shavanidhi. Likewise, there are 16 Adhishtanas. They are Drishti, that is by sight. Nishwasa, that is by breath. Damshtra, that is bite, well by means of fangs, etc. Then Naga, which means nails. Mutra, that is urine. Purisha, that is feces. Shukra, that is the sperm. Lala, that is Lalasrava, saliva. Artava, that is menstrual blood. Mukha, that is by means of mouth, they are the suckers. Sandamsha, they are the proboscis. Vishartida, that is the flatus. Tundasti, by means of bones. Pitta, that is bile. Shuga, that is sting. And Shava, that is from dead bodies. These are the 16 Adhisthana of the Jangama Visha. Ashtanga Sangraha also mentioned 16 Adhishthanas but replaced Sandamsha, Vishartita and Tundasti with Sparsha, Asti and Rakta. That is the only difference, but the number given is same. Let's look into one by one and some of the examples given for that. First comes the Drishti, that is by mere sight. Second comes the Nishwasa, that is by means of the breath. And the example given for these two is Divya Sarpa. That is by mere sight and breath of this Divya Sarpa, the people get poisoned. Then next is Damshtra, that is fangs, and the example is given as Bhauma Sarpa. Next one is Naga, that is nails, and the example given is Marjara, Kida, Ashwa, etc. There are many other examples also, but I have picked only 2-3 examples for it. And for the Marjara, Kida and Ashwa, both the Damshtra and the Naga are given as Adhisthana. These are the example for the Damshtra, that is fangs, the two elevated poisonous teeth which is present, which is called as the fangs in poisonous snakes. Next is the picture of the nail, Naga. Next comes the next Adhisthana, that is Mutra, that is we know that it is urine, and Purisha, which means stools, and the example for this is given as Chippida and Pichitaka. Next is Shukra, that is semen, and the example is given as Mushika. And next is Lalasrava, that is by the saliva, and Artava, that is menstrual blood. And for all this, that is Mutra, Purisha, Shukra, Lalasrava and Artava, and also Mukha, Sandamsha and Naga, Acharya has mentioned example of Luda, that is Luda Visha is having the Adhisthana of all this, that is Mutra, Purisha, Shukra, Lalasrava, Artava, Mukha, Sandamsha and Naga. Next Adhisthana is the Mukha, that is suckers. We can give the example as Jalauka, that is they suck by means of the mouth. Next is Sandamsha. Sandamsha can be correlated to proboscis. They are the elevated nasal structure which helps in the sucking of the other animals or the prey. And the next is the Vishartita, that is flatus. And the examples for this is given as Chitrashira, Sharavara, etc. Next is the Tundasti, that is the bones, and the example is given as Varati, Matsya, Sarpa, etc. Next is the Pitta, that is bile. The examples are Matsya, Raktaraji, etc. Next is the Shuga, that is sting. The examples are Brahmara, which is bees or wasp. Then the last one is the Shava, that is dead body, and the examples are given as dead snakes and Kida. I have given those insects which stung, and it include honeybee, wasp, yellow jacket, fire ant, hornet, scorpion, etc. The insects stung, and these are the examples for the Shuka Visha Adhisthana. Likewise, in Stavara Visha, Charakacharya and Ashtanga Hridaya has also mentioned only one Adhisthana, that is Damshra, for the Jangama Visha Adhisthana. The Acharya Shushrutacharya and Ashtanga Sangraha has mentioned 16 Adhishthanas, but Charaka and Ashtanga Hridaya has mentioned only one Adhisthana. Let's stop today's lecture, and if you have any recommendation, please comment in the comment box. Thank you.